but we're recording because we will be doing closed caption and playing back and reposting this for folks should you not be able to be with us live right now. I'm gonna go on the Facebook page to see if, okay, cool. All right, we'll see what happens. So, hi, I'm Jill Harrison. I am the founder and executive director of Directors Gathering, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. You can see my little box. And I have with me today two amazing folks who are going to introduce themselves. Bree, would you start?
Hi, I am Brianne Barrett, the Director of Programming at Directors Gathering, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. I have not changed my name yet on my Zoom. I shall. Yeah, I'm here in beautiful South Philadelphia right now.
Thank you. And Cece.
Hello, I'm Cece Wright. Apparently trying to look at the technical part to see if we were actually on Facebook Live. I'm the Director of Membership and Engagement, and I'm in Philadelphia. I'm in Overbrook Park.
Awesome. Oh, and I should have shared that too. I am also in Philadelphia right now in the East Falls area. I'm in the process of also trying to share our Facebook Live on my personal. This is really fascinating. Okay, so to kick us off.
Also, why we need a producer.
Yes.
A good example.
DG producer, please join us. Which we will reiterate that we are accepting submissions until this Thursday, October 8th. So please join us. We'll up above our Facebook Live, you can see that you can apply through the Facebook application, or there's a link within that Facebook application that you can also apply to through a Google form and share some more information with us. And yeah, we'll be in touch. So what we've had some questions that folks have shared with us already, those who have submitted applications. And some of those questions, there's several that are about DG as an organization, and where we've come from, and where we are and where we're heading. I can share that we are a nonprofit, well, a fiscally sponsored nonprofit that is moving towards receiving our own 501c3. And we've been a service organization since 2014, and we are now a membership organization, which launched in 2019. So we're in our first full year of membership, which is really exciting. Our members since this March are from all over the country. We are residing in Philly and based in Philly, but have now extended throughout the States, which is very exciting because we are now virtual, and that is our current status or status, if you will. So with our salons, which Cece will speak to more, in our events and programs that Bree will speak to more, they are all currently virtual. And we were offering virtual, our DG Digital offerings last year before everything went to virtual. So we are interested in that continuing beyond into fiscal year 21 and beyond. But we imagine it being more of a hybrid approach, where when it's safe for us all to gather again in person, to return to that style of programming, but also have our virtual programming, so we can still continue to engage with members from all over. In addition to where we're heading with that sense of hybrid programming, we are very much dedicated to accountability and accessibility, and another ability, sustainability. So both internally and externally, we are exploring ways to meet our members and extended community in ways that are safe, that are equitable, and that are inclusive. And so we are in the process of naming those practices. We are working closely with our board, with the three of us here, and this new position would be a part of that team, and then also some external consultants to identify what our accountability practices are going to be moving forward, and naming that and having that be how we gather with and for our members. Yeah, so that's DG at large. And Bree, would you be willing, one of the questions was about working as a producer with the organization. What are some qualities, if you will, that jive with DG. If you wouldn't mind speaking a little bit about that.
Sure. So we're a pretty small team that brings other folks in for different programs and events. So the three of us are the main core. And I think what the three of us as a trifecta have shown as successful qualities for working together is openness and honesty and transparency. I think that's been really beneficial for us being able to move forward. There is a lot of talking about our goals for the organization and individually, and that can be really helpful to identify how they align. And I think it just adds to the dedication that we have for advocating for our community. So I would say the most important quality to have in joining our little team, and for anytime we're bringing folks in, it's being able to be transparent and honest. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Cece, would you share a little bit about how you have found what works with collaborating with our team? And also, if you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit of like collaborating as specific to being Director of Membership and Engagement, of what you have found collaborating with our members has been like.
Yeah, I mean, similar to what Bree offered, and the being open and honest and transparent, those, I feel like those are crucial in order for this to work, because we are doing this work in a part-time capacity, because we work, I mean, we've always worked remotely from each other. You know, being able to talk to one another about what needs we have, what challenges we're having, is important to doing this work, because I think that we all, what's true about all of us is that we are passionate about this, and it can be very easy to let that get in the way of actually like doing the work in a healthy way. And what I mean by that is make sure to take the time for yourself that you need, so that you can come back to this work and give your best to what we're doing. And in terms of working with our membership, I have the pleasure of creating salon experiences for our director members. And what that is an opportunity for each tier level to get together and discuss a topic of really their choosing, really their guiding, that is related to the craft. So this, you know, this nice space to be in touch with feelings, I think is what has been said before about the theory of directing, the craft of directing. And with that, I get to work with our membership directly to come up with how we will have those conversations, and then they lead those conversations, and I just kind of get out of the way and make sure that I can create the space that they feel comfortable talking. And yeah.
Great. I was on mute. Great. Thank you, Bree. Thank you, Cece. I will also share that something that I have offered Cece and Bree, I think quite a amount of times, is because we are remote and a small but mighty team, and because DG has, as founder, I like to say I called the party, but what has been so necessary and sustainable and just really heartwarming is that Cece and Bree have been a part of we are a team, and we are working hard to have that sense of that communal effort, that and challenging the sense of hierarchical system, and how we can have says and be transparent and honest, as both Cece and Bree have shared, and that goes also with our board. And our relationship with the board. and how we can offer that sense of community. And we look forward to our new team member coming on board and being a part of that community and collective. Yeah. Also, I will share, we like a good challenge. I like a good challenge, and I'm deeply grateful for when there's query, and we always know that we have DG's best interest at heart, and we have each other's health and safety and wellness at heart, and it's important that energy continues I will speak on my behalf. I think it's important that energy continues, and our new team member be interested and dedicated to that kind of energy, where if something needs to be, so if we need breath, if we need reflection, if we need query, that also comes from any person on the team, even if it's not necessarily your purview per se. It's an opportunity for us in our team meetings to continue to have each other's best interest when we question, and our members' best interest when we question. Also, there was a question specifically about when we meet. So, it's all virtual, we're remote. We have started creating more named processes internally. That's been also what we've been dedicated to. And so consistent team meetings has been a part of that. We're about twice a month, I'd say, regularly. And we'd be looking for this new position to be at the forefront of keeping us to that process of, we like to say, line producing DG internally and externally. Yes, and a shout out to our former interim producer, Christine Frigie, who was just a gift when it came to helping us identify those processes internally. Yes, and then we use Slack, and we use texting, but also Cece and Bree have been really great being like, what goes in text, Jill? What goes in Slack, Jill? Which is really, really good, because not everybody works the same way. Not everyone has the same needs. And so it's good to be able to have a sense of flow that's good for the organization, but also good for each of us as human beings. What else? What else can we talk about here, friends? I don't know if anyone's listening. They will. They will when we share. Let me just.
I know that there was a question about what we'll be doing in the coming months. Yeah. I could speak to some of the program, what's anticipated in programming, and then if Cece wants to jump in and discuss some of the membership and engagement events that we've been discussing. Cool. So we have coming up our Jam 2020, which is a new version of our historical DG Jam, which was started by Peron Yousafzadeh. Oh gosh, I may have messed that up. So sorry. But
you did not. Peron Yousafzadeh.
But Peron being this incredibly brilliant director who started this jam process of bringing directors together to experiment on creation, and encouraging them to do that with some ingredients, hence the jam, to kind of spark some inspiration for what they would experiment in creating. We're doing it a bit different this year. We're including a retreat aspect of it in November for the directors who have been chosen. They have not been announced yet. We're still in the process of confirmation with the directors. And then in February, we will do a public showing that is much different than previous times. First off, it's going to be virtual instead of in person. But also because directing is such it is a very unique process for a lot of different people. We didn't want to presume that directors want to be using a virtual space to offer their work. So we're giving them opportunities to do a work in progress or a whole made piece just for virtual, or just have a public discussion about directing. So that's the main program coming up in the next few months. It is because it's a new version of something we've done before. It's quite an undertaking. But we have two amazing co-curators who are like at the helm of it and running most of it, and have come up with a really wonderful process that we're really excited about. That's Brianna D. Clarell and Katrina Schroeb, and I'm just super excited to work with them. And then we're planning to reinvigorate our seminars and our pickup classes, which we could go into more detail as whoever comes on board comes on board. But yeah, that's the main thing to focus on when you person out there listening start jam. Okay.
Thanks, Bree. Thanks so much. Cece?
Yeah, so well, we'll talk about the fun thing that we're doing this month at the end. You won't get to be a part of that directly, but that just gives you like an idea of the fun things I do. But my big thing coming up for me would be preparing for salons. So having support for that because we are in the virtual space, what that looks like and the needs of that. But like the big thing that we're doing organization-wide that really impacts me is that we are using a new CRM, customer relations management system, and that will really help me in the work that I do and how I manage membership information and communicate with our members and streamline a lot of internal processes as they relate to membership. And that's a project that's already in progress, but there will be some things that we learn from using this new system and building our new website and engagement in that way. So in terms of like what I have coming up in the next couple of months, those are the big things.
Great, Cece. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for bringing up our new CRM because that is absolutely something that the producer will be interfacing with when we create programs and events with Cece and Bree. And also, did we talk about DG Digital? We did. Yes, about like where we think it's heading then also into the new year, and that's something that they'll be working with you on, Bree.
Kind of, sort of. You mentioned it previously that DG Digital was a facet of programming that we started before COVID that we will continue to be doing throughout the existence of DG, I guess. But yes, there are some programs that are unique to DG Digital. There's Vision a Play that was started by our previous interim producer and one of our board members. And we're hoping to continue that in the future, as well as DG Happy Hour conversations, which are open to members, but also prospective members. It feels a little like parallel to the salons, which are much more private, and then the DG Happy Hours are more open. Yeah.
Thank you. And that is something too that we've been discovering more and more about as our membership has been expanding, especially with the virtual living that we are in, is how we balance engaging with our members. And as a membership organization, we engage with them first. And then how we extend beyond our membership with our extended directing community and collaborator community. And how we find ways to, again, to balance both sets of those programming. initiatives and how we engage and reach out with members and extended community. So we have found that DG Dialogues, especially with virtual, and this year we've also launched a pay what you decide model that goes along with the DG Digitals, and DG Digitals are free for members. So we're trying, again, how do we find that nice balance between serving both our members and a wider community, because we're directors and it's an isolating art and it's also changing rapidly, like every moment of every day. So the more that DG can be a part of listening to and responding to how we can serve directors in this time and beyond, the better. Which leads me to, before we shift into Cece sharing more about the last week of October, which, can I say secretly, I would love to hope that our new producer might be able to, should they be available and interested, might be able to join us at the very end of it. But we will see if they are interested in that, and if that works out, because it's a really fun week. But there was one question that I would love for us all that I thought was really lovely. What are we most proud of, what DG has achieved thus far, and how do we hope DG will continue to grow? So what are you most proud of with DG? And then where do you hope DG is heading? That's a two-part big question, but I just thought that would be a really great thing to share. Oh, who's going first? Are you pointing at me? Oh my, okay. I guess it is something that I'm back to calling parties. Okay, well, what am I most, before DG, nothing existed. That was 4 regional theater directors, mainly freelancers, and that was community and process centric. And it's been really incredible seeing DG grow and thrive and make some really, I think, meaningful impact on freelance regional theater directors in a process and community centered way, that is not necessarily a product of what are our deliverables and what show are you directing and how do we produce that, and where that's all meaningful in what we do, but we find ways to augment and support and be that consistent space that directors can come to and interface with as they can on their terms, which is, I think, really, really great. Clearly. And then what am I most excited about where we're heading? I mean, we talked a lot about what DG would look like if it had a membership, and it now has a membership. I mean, that was like years. And then we talked a lot for years about what DG would look like if it existed beyond Philly. And now it does. So I'm really excited. And terrified. And I mean terrified in a really great way. Anne Bogart uses terror, and I love it because right, there's fear and desire in all aspects. And so that sense of terror that goes along with as we grow, I think it's important to embrace that. So those are my answers. Who wants to go next? Bree does.
Mostly because I just want to give a little moment to address the fact that you called out Anne Bogart. It's such a director thing to do.
Hi, Anne Bogart. I don't know if she's on Facebook, but
yeah, I think so. One of the things I'm most proud of with DG, as somebody who was a participant and then became a part of the team that was creating opportunity, is that it's really, really hard to be in this industry, to be in this profession without it feeling very competitive, where you're feeling as though it's about not getting a job and if someone else gets it. And one of the things that DG has really accomplished, at least for me personally, and it feels like for a lot of our members or directors who were participants before the membership, is that it kind of broke that down a little bit. It broke down the competitive nature of our profession, and we became more peers. We became people who were talking to each other and being really open and direct about the different things that we were each facing, and finding out that there was a lot of common ground and a lot of desire not to participate in that competitive nature. And so it became something more about being peers and supporting each other that way. So I've really appreciated DG's role in a more peer support or supporting peers mentality, at least for Philadelphia directors. And we have an opportunity now for that to go beyond Philadelphia. But what I'm really looking forward to in the next step, and I think we've done bits of work here and there, and we're building a foundation, but like advocacy work, like active advocacy work for each other. And that I'm really excited about that next step for us. We're now like past competitive and supporting each other as peers, and now the next step is like advocacy for each other, and doing that active work. So that's what I'm really excited about.
Thanks so much, Bree. Cece.
I will say the thing I'm proud about is how do I put this? This is going to sound weird, but the humility of like what DG has to offer. And when I say humility, I mean just like this opportunity for individuals as directors to have this like accurate self-assessment, right? So humility is not just about what are my weaknesses, but it's an assessment of like what are my strengths and privileges, and I think about that in terms of the membership program that's been developed and the toiling that we did over tiers and what that even means and if that even matters, but really more as a way to investigate, your craft, what your style is, what's useful to you in the toolbox of being a director. So that's what I'm proud to be a part of that, and I wish that it existed in everything, in every field, that there was something like that. And then where DG's going, I do think expanding beyond Philadelphia is great. I think that the advocacy is great. I said this a long time ago, I think that DG is such a great opportunity to be like the one directing the conversation about the craft, and I think that the advocacy that we can identify that we do, and having this broader audience now, and seeing people sign up for memberships who don't know any of us personally. And that's not why they signed up. They signed up because they attended a program or a digital program, or saw some advertising and got really interested and excited about the work that DG is doing. And I think that's really exciting.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cece. So we're at our time that we committed to. Cece, would you take us on out here and with a further coming attraction of what we're up to?
Yeah. I'm trying to get my my prop. Being my own tech person here. Yeah, so this month, DG has claimed October is the month that we are celebrating and elevating the director members of DG. We have been trying to have our birthday party, birthday's in March, for so many months now, and it just didn't happen, and that's fine. It's where we are. It's the reality of the situation we're in. So we've decided that October will be the month that we celebrate. And that includes fundraising efforts so that we can pay the people who make this happen Oh no, I have it on mute. Hold on.
Go again. Go again.
Fundraising so that we can pay the people who make all this stuff happen. So that we can support the programs that support our members' work and craft as directors. Yeah. We're going to have conversations at the end of this month with some amazing directors about the work that they do in the community. We're going to be showcasing, this is bad, this is not reading at all.
Great.
We're going to be showcasing our director members and the work that they do in process. And we're going to be announcing the 2020 DG Jam directors. So that's very exciting. Yeah. That's what October is. Hashtag
who
we gather.
Be there or be square. And look, I can also hold up look at that gorgeous image that CC Wright created. We gather, directors gathering. Yeah, Monday, October 26th to Friday, October 30th, all over our platforms. We're very much looking forward to people joining us. And we are very much looking forward to celebrating members and also future DG producer. Your birthday might need to be in October. Just saying, or we could, because that's also part of the deal here. And now Jill is like doing this, but every one of the people that you see in these cute little boxes, our birthdays are in October. This Saturday is Cece's birthday. If you want to celebrate Cece, woohoo! And
Jill,
then what?
I took it off Facebook for a reason.
Sorry, but I'm very excited.
This is just transparency happening. That's all.
Pretend you don't know that. And then Bree's birthday is the same day as my dad's birthday, October 18th. Woohoo! And then my birthday's October 30th. So there will be a party with special guests that you should join. Oh, but we will also, if your birthday is not in October, that is A-okay. And that's adding some fun new months to our birthday calendar. Okay, I think it might be time to be done. All right, well, we are deeply grateful for anyone who has listened or will be listening at the recording of this or reading. And should you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to any one of us. And I will put that in the, I was gonna say the chat. It's the chat for us, but on Facebook Live, I'll make a comment with our emails should you want to reach out. And yeah, we look forward to being in touch. Bree, thank you. Cece, thank you.
Thank you,
Jill. This was fun.
Right? Super fun. All right, I'm going to now take us off of Facebook Live. Goodbye, everybody on Facebook. Goodbye. I think I'm going to stop live stream. Bye.
Goodbye now. Bye.
Bye now. Goodbye. I think we're done. Hold on. I'm just going to double check Facebook Live. It's not like watching me be a crazy person.
So sorry that
was
I
amazing.
opened it because I was like, oh, one of us should check to make sure we're actually streaming and not just talking at each other.
Yeah, I had it open too.
All right, we're good.
Yeah. Do we want to stop recording?
Yeah, we should probably do that too.
Cool.
Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna comment. Hold on. Now I'm listening to myself. Oh my God.
This is all in the recording.
Who is this person? Can DG help me with learning the director's craft? Who is this?
I don't know, but we're still recording.
Oh gosh. Okay, sorry. Stop recording.
You can always edit the video.